Well, this Saturday, the New York Red Bulls will host New York CityFC at Red Bull Arena in a match that will most likely have implications on playoff positions. Joining me now to talk about the upcoming game is Red Bulls defender Noah Ayla. Noah, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Noah, before we talk about the Red Bulls, let's talk about you a little bit. You were born in Sweden and eventually made your way to the U.S. Can you tell us a little about your journey, how you first became interested in soccer and how you made your way to America?
Well, I think it started as many people do, get into sports. Your parents, your siblings play, so that's how I started playing. And then, I played for the club I supported when I was a kid back in Sweden, and I made it all the way up to the first team, which was very special for me. And then eventually, I played 3 seasons in the Swedish league, and then I heard about the New York Red Bulls were interested in taking me over here, and it was a very interesting opportunity for me. So it was just to jump on it, and so far it's been very fun and very good.
Fantastic. Now, speaking of the Red Bulls, what players have had the biggest impact on your team so far this year?
Well, I think it's like a team sport. It's always a lot of players who impact the team in a positive way. But I think now we have had Emil injured Forsberg for a while, but when he's playing, he makes a big difference for us. And hopefully he's back now this weekend. So hopefully it will make a big difference for us.
And can you talk about your head coach, Sandro Schwartz, and how important he's been in his first year with the team?
Yeah, well, he's been so important. I think I think everyone can see the development the team has been on since last year and also during the year. So I think he's a great coach with a lot of experience from top level in Europe, and I think that shows every day in training. We train very hard, and we have a very good structure in how we want to play. And I think everyone can see the improvement from the team every week. So he's a great coach.
Now, like I said, you'll be playing against New York CityFC, a rivalry known as the Hudson River Derby, formerly the New York Derby, kind of like a Subway Series in baseball where 2 New York-based teams play each other. Now, in your last matchup, which was at Citi Field in May, you guys lost 2-1. How excited are you for this rematch, and is there anything you learned from the first game that could help you this Saturday?
Well, I think we're so excited. I think it's, as you say, such a big game for us also with the playoff positions. We're so close to each other in the table. So I think it's such a big game and we're really excited for it. As you said, it was a tough loss for us back over at their place the last time. I think what we learned then was that you have to play the game as a derby game, and it's going to be a lot of emotion, and to tune into that emotion and not shy away from it, I think it's going to be important.
And Noah, last question, very quickly. The playoffs will be here before you know it. Do you guys think you have what it takes to win it all?
Yeah, of course. I think if you don't have the belief in yourself, then no one's going to do it. So I think we 100% have the belief, but we also know that there's a lot of good teams. We need to raise the standard every day now until the end of the season. And I think if we do so and we play at our best level, we have shown that we can beat every team. So 100% we have the belief.
Great attitude. Well, Noah, thanks so much for your time this morning, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Over the past week, Kean University's men's golf team kicked off their season at Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, and Yankees legend Thurman Munson was honored at the Venetian in Garfield. Our ONNJ Sports team was there for both. Take a look.
History was made last week at Galloping Hill Golf Course as Kean University hosted its first ever men's golf home match. Competing against William Patterson and Mount St. Vincent, Kean secured a victory in this inaugural event. The match marked a new chapter for Kean athletics, with both men's and women's golf programs launching this fall, and Galloping Hill proudly becoming their home course. Joe Yeck, head coach of the men's team, reflected on the significance of the day.
There's a cool challenge ahead of us, but we've done a really good job, I feel like, with our recruiting class in this first year. We have a bunch of great men and women who are eager to get this going from the ground zero.
Kean University President Dr. Lamont Repillette was also in attendance to celebrate this achievement.
So for me, it's just an example for our students to have an alternative sports option and for them to be able to have a lifelong skill they can take with them.
Kelly Williams, Director of Athletics and Recreation, emphasized how this match is just the beginning of a bright future for the golf programs.
We want to just make sure that we have the best golf program in the country in the next couple of years. We're in the infant stage for our women and our men. Recruiting has been unbelievable because of our facilities and what we have to offer here at Kean University.
Some of the key players shared their thoughts on being part of the team's first home match.
It's a really cool experience, being the first team to get this entire program going for however long. I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're trailblazers, so we're just hoping to start up the program.
It feels really good. It's exciting that we have another new sport here at Kean.
And it's good to know that we are like a part of history.
We're a part of the first
women's golf team.
Golf team.
We're here to support the boys today.
With the strong debut at their new home course, Kean's golf programs are already making their mark. This is just the beginning of a promising journey for the Cougars. Reporting for ONNJ Jersey, I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We're here at the Venetian in Garfield celebrating the first annual New York Legends Gala, honoring Thurman Munson. Yankees from the 1970s Bronx Zoo days came out to support amazing Garden State causes. Let's check it out. Yankees legends like Goose Gossage, Greg Nettles, Bucky Dent, and Roy White reunited for a special evening filled with stories, laughter, and a shared admiration for the legacy their teammate Thurman Munson left behind.
Thurman and I were very close. Our lockers were right next to each other in Yankee Stadium. So Thurman was the first guy that I saw. I knew where the best restaurants were in the American League. So when he wanted to have a good dinner, he would say, "Roy, where are we going to eat tonight?" So proceeds from this event will go to Thurman Munson Foundation for scholarships. Part of the proceeds will also go to my foundation, and we help kids go to college. And we also added to give to autism research.
It's an honor to be here. You know, Thurman was a great player, great teammate, great captain, and it's a great venue, and we're excited to be here.
At 45 years later, after losing Thurman, the fact that the fans want to come out and celebrate his life and tell me how much they love him and where they were the day we lost him, I'm their connection to him. And I guess because we share love for him, I feel like it's coming home.
With WFAN's Keith McPherson as the event MC, guests were treated to an evening of nostalgia.
These guys are fan favorites, and there's just an older generation of Yankee fans that adore them. So to be a part of this, even though I didn't live in that time, it's special.
As the night closed, the legends in attendance had thoughts about this current Yankees team, who are gearing up for another postseason run.
All the teams are pretty evenly matched this year, so they're going to have to be on their best in order to get to that World Series. But I like the way they've been playing lately. Pitching is going to be the key.
I think they're going to peak at the right time. You know, I said all along, before when they were struggling, that they're going to put it together and make a run at the end, and they did.
A night that honored one of the greatest to ever wear pinstripes, brought legends together, and raised funds for charity. Thurman Munson's legacy, both on and off the field, lives on. Reporting for ONNJ Jersey, I'm Lisa Marie Falbo.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime. Well, after dropping their first two games, the New York Giants got their first win of the 2024 season in a 21-15 victory over the Cleveland Browns. Could this be a sign of more good things to come? We're going to get an expert answer to that question because joining me now is the pre- and post-game host for the New York Giants, John Schmelk. John, great to see you again, my friend.
Mike, good to talk to you, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great now. So, John, this was a nice win for the Giants fans. 1-2 is much different than 0-3. Generally speaking, what clicked for the Giants in Cleveland this past weekend?
Yes, hope lives, Mike. At 0-3, hope would not have lived, and that's good heading into a short week here when the Giants host the Cowboys on Thursday. But look, I think there was improvement, especially on the defensive side of the football. The defense really struggled in week 2 against the Commanders. They came out and only gave up 15 points against the Browns. They had 8 sacks from 9 different players. They got after the quarterback. They did a much better job stopping the run. And then offensively, they threw the ball well. I thought that started against the Commanders the previous week, But defensive issues, they only had 7 possessions against the Commanders in week 2. It didn't really show up in the box score necessarily, but I thought the offense continued to improve. Daniel Jones was efficient against one of the best pass defenses in the league. Malik Neighbors continues to be just a superstar outside. So I think you're seeing progress on both sides of the ball, but the big step in week 3 was certainly the pass rush and the defense, getting those 8 sacks against the Browns offense.
Well, let's expand on a couple of players you just mentioned. Daniel Jones outperformed himself this game compared to the first 2. His completion percentage was way up. His passing yards eclipsed 200. Did you get the sense that he was more locked in this time around?
Yeah, I think he's just getting more comfortable behind this offensive line. And the last year or so, he played behind a pretty terrible one, and he was getting hammered and pressured on every play. And through the first 2 weeks, I think he's getting used to having a line in front of him that can actually give him some time to throw the football. And he's getting comfortable down there, holding the football a little bit longer, actually going through his reads. He's navigating the pocket well. He's reading blitzes coming in. I think his decision-making in week 3 was as good as it's been in a while. And you know, when you have protection, the receivers can run different types of routes. You can call plays offensively. Brian Daboll, I thought, did a great job calling plays for Daniel Jones in week 3 against the Browns as well. And he's playing better football. I think, again, it started against the Commanders when he was overall pretty efficient. He had 2 touchdown passes in that game as well. But, yeah, Daniel Jones is playing well right now, and the Browns have one of the best defenses in football. That's what was most impressive to me, to have that type of efficient game. He was 17 of 19 in the first half of that game, nearly perfect. This week against Dallas, their defense struggles. So I could see the positive vibes for the offense continuing on Thursday night.
And wide receiver and first-round draft pick Malik Neighbors has proven himself thus far in his rookie year. He's only going to get better, assuming he stays healthy. How important will he be to the future of this team?
Yeah, and the fact that he's going to continue to get better should scare the heck out of other teams in the NFC because he's already a very good football player. Right now he owns rookie records for receptions and yards in his first 3 games. So he's playing great football, and he's a guy that, and this goes back to Daniel Jones' improvement, right? He now finally has a receiver when the other team plays man coverage. I'm just going to look at Malik Neighbors every time. And he's going to make plays even when he's covered. You saw one of the best catches of the year so far last week when he jumped over Emerson down the left sideline to come up with a contested catch. So Malik Neighbors is really transforming this offense. He's helping the quarterback. And look, he's going to be a key to this franchise moving forward, directly to the point of your question. You know, having a number 1 wide receiver that you can make the focal point of your offense is really important in the NFL these days. You're going to see another one of those guys in CeeDee Lamb in week 4 against Dallas. You saw it in Justin Jefferson with the Vikings in week 1. You know, go around the league, whether it's Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins, Devontae Adams with the Raiders. Having that number 1 wide receiver that can be your go-to player on offense can make all the difference for a quarterback, an offense, and a franchise. And it appears the Giants have found that in Malik Neighbors.
And last question, should Giants fans get their hopes up? Does this win build momentum for the G-Men as they get ready to take on the Cowboys in week 4? Because the Giants fans hadn't had a lot to be happy about over the last decade or so.
Look, you have to build on it now. 1 win is not enough. 1-3 is still a poor start. They've lost to the Cowboys 13 of their last 14 games. The last time they beat Dak Prescott was 2016 in Dak Prescott's rookie year. Their only win since then has been against Andy Dalton against the Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys have owned the New York Giants over the past 7 or so seasons. Until you can start beating a team like Dallas, a team like Philly in the division, you still have a ways to go. So I think this is a potential statement game on Thursday night. It's a short week for both teams. Dallas Cowboys defense has really struggled this year. I think the Giants should be able to score points. And conversely, the Dallas Cowboys have not been able to run the ball well this year. Really, their offense has been Dak Prescott, who got paid this offseason. He's a very good player. CeeDee Lamb, one of the best receivers in football, probably top 1 or 2. He got paid this offseason. He's a really good player. If they can figure out a way to slow that Dallas passing attack down, I think they have a chance to win this football game. And that, I think, would then be the signal for Giant fans to really start being hopeful that this team could make a playoff run this year.
Great analysis, as always. John Schmelk, thanks as always. And hopefully the Giants are still in the conversation the next time we talk, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime. Well, the Professional Women's Hockey League started up just last year with 6 teams, only known by their locations. One of those teams was simply called New York City, but this year they have a new identity and a new home. Starting this season, the New York Sirens will be playing their home games at Prudential Center in Newark. Here to talk about the big change are the team's head coach, Greg Fargo, and one of the team's star players, Jill Saunier. Guys, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Mike. Of course. So, Greg, I'll start with you. How exciting is it knowing that your team now has a place to call home, and that home is Prudential Center, where the New Jersey Devils play?
Yeah, it's, playing at Prudential Center is really such an incredible opportunity for our team and our organization. And as we all know, it's a world-class facility with a great atmosphere. We feel it's going to bring out the best in everyone. And I can tell you that both players and coaches were all very excited, but very eager to get going with our fans in New Jersey. And I think what it represents for us is really just it showcases the growth of our sport, and to be in such a great market at a world-class facility. I think we're really excited to share that with our New York Sirens fans.
And Jill, how awesome is it to have an identity now? It's like in the movie The Mighty Ducks. They were just District 5, and then they became the Ducks. You guys were simply New York City, and now you're the Sirens. It certainly has a much better ring to it, don't you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the power of sport, is having, your fan base and your friends and family being able to cheer for a team name. That's really special, and that's what really brings that collective together. So we're really excited. That was a big announcement for us, and I think that's just going to propel our team forward in a great direction.
And Jill, the Professional Women's Hockey League is only in its second year. It has so much time to grow. How much of an impact does Prudential Center have in drawing more attention to the league?
Oh, I can't even tell you how important visibility is for the sport, and being in a place that's accessible to people to come watch us, easy to get to, and easy to find your team to cheer for. It's huge for us. So when that was announced, that was a big deal for us. We were bumping around last year. We had some wonderful experiences last year. We're very thankful for our time at the rinks that we had last year, but there's nothing better than being able to have a home, and it's going to be really good for the organization.
And Greg, not only will you guys have Prudential Center, but you'll also be practicing at Cody Arena in West Orange, which is actually my hometown. I remember getting autographs from the '95 Devils outside of that arena as a kid. How great of a place will that be to interact with fans and grow your audience?
Yeah, I think that's exciting too, Mike. Cody Arena has been so welcoming to us so far. The people there are excited to have us, and we can't wait to be a part of that community. And I think when you step foot in the arena at Cody, it's easy to see just how important youth hockey is in that area. And for us to be able to partner with the people there and really be a part of the fabric of that community is something we're excited about. And, that combined with just a first-class training facility, I think it's got a great setup there. Obviously, it was home for the Devils for so long. We're excited to take that over, freshen it up a little bit, and make it our own home. It'll be a great spot for us.
And Greg, it's your first year with the team. Can you talk about some of your team's strengths heading into the season?
Yeah, I think it's obviously as a new coach, I've got a lot to learn still about this team, but I'm sure it'll also look different. I mean, with just going through the draft and having the first overall pick here in the most recent draft, it's an exciting time for our team. I think obviously, there's a lot of positive momentum to build off of last year, but we're also, adding some great pieces, I think, that will continue to layer in some depth in our lineup. But it's an exciting team. I think if you look at the roster, there's a ton of offensive ability. We've got a lot of depth on the back end and in goal, and I'm sure it'll be a great team to watch for fans that choose to come and join us at Prudential this year.
And Jill, you're originally from Nova Scotia. You've been playing professionally for a while now, and I know the sport runs in your family. Do you see yourself as a mentor to some of the younger players on the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think as a veteran, as an older player, that's your job, is to grab the younger ones and make sure that they're under your wing and make sure they're in the best possible position to perform at their very best. And I take that role very seriously. I like to think that I'm someone who, the girls feel like they could approach and challenge themselves with. And that's my goal, is to make sure everyone around me is in a place that they can really thrive and find that golden standard in themselves. And I try to obviously do the same and bring that every day to the team. So we're excited, staff down to goalies. We have a pretty special group. I've always said that. And I think this year it's going to be worth it to roll up to the Prudential Center to catch a game.
Well, Greg, Jill, I'm looking forward to the season. I'd love to come see you guys play at Prudential Center, and we'll be sure to cheer you on all year long. Thanks again.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for having us.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.